Happy birthday, baby. We just got home from the Thermal Club in Palm Springs from an amazing weekend, and this is part 2 of your birthday present.
Can't keep up with my rhythm. So, like, go back in time about 42, 45 years ago.
A long time ago.
It's hard to believe that John is turning 50.
I met John when I was 13 years old.
I actually don't remember the first time. It had to be on the basketball court.
No, I was doing shots, so I don't remember anything about the first time I met John.
The first time I met you was such a great memory that I forgot.
I actually don't remember the first time I met you.
I don't remember specifically the first time.
I do not. I should.
Something to do with my sister, but don't remember much.
I could make up a story.
Myself, I'm trying to remember when I met John is kind of hard to do.
Do you remember?
I have no idea.
I don't remember the first time I met John. I think I was too little. So I don't remember the first time I met John.
Highlight of the week was going to Greek school at St. Sophia and playing football. And we live for this.
Oh, the first time I met John was through Grindr.
It was scary. I was alone with him.
I remember someone sticking his hand out at me and saying fear. And it took me a while to catch on to why he was introducing himself as fear.
I feel like it was when you guys got engaged. It was like the first time I remember him.
Sorry, we don't remember when we met you, but it was a good day.
It might have been one of those stupors that we might have shared that kind of bonded us.
It was at a Goya dance at St. Catherine that the poor man was DJing.
I believe the first time I met John was when he was about 18, and he was covering my vacation.
But it must have been at one of Mariana's parties before they were dating, before we all went to Greece.
All right, the first time I met John.
First time I met John Fovos was about 10, 11 years ago, maybe.
Met John Fovos when we were kids in Goya.
I was with a group of people, and he walked right up to me and he said, "I'm John Fovos."
We met when we were like 3, 4 years old.
The first time I met John, he gave us a ride to LAX airport, and he drove so fast I didn't think we were going to make it there in one piece.
The first time I met John, I was living in a shithole apartment in the Miracle Mile.
So how I met John Fovos is Peter and I were dating, and we were driving to the valley on one weekend.
But we survived.
When I first met him, it was at Kathy and Jeff's house, and George and Effie were starting to date.
So one particular Saturday we're playing, and Perry Skaggs is one captain and I'm the other captain, and we pick our teams as we normally do. And we're starting to play this game, and then all of a sudden we look over, and there's this kid.
Sam, do you remember anything from the first time you met John Fovos? Here, tell it to the camera.
I went over to Mariana's house with Lori.
And Anita had gotten a whole bunch of her friends and grouped together when I first moved down to Los Angeles.
The first time I met John was, I think, on our second date.
I think I was 9 and John was 7.
I met John for the first time about 20 years ago.
There's this kid, and the kid, we used to call this kid the kid who always wore the banana yellow suit to church, because he did. Every single week, this guy wore a banana yellow suit.
A couple minutes later, he asked me to dance, and that was it.
For me, it was nothing like the John Fovos that I've come to know and love.
The first time I met John Fovos?
Yes.
I met a guy that, like, if I was a chick, I would fall in love with him.
But I was in junior choir at church, and it was very serious. We had to sing songs in Greek in the church.
I could see right away that he would be very successful.
And when I got there, John grabbed me and said, "Hey, come across the street and help me move something."
And we were doing a bowling night.
Bowling night. Yeah, good old Lucky Strike in Hollywood.
After that, a little later in the evening, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, "I love that guy."
In walks this little boy, sort of jumping and running around with his mom saying, Johnny, 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 you need to take Johnny in the choir. And we all thought, oh boy.
A pool hall in Pasadena, yes.
And she said, stay away from him. He's an asshole.
The kid that wears a banana yellow suit walks up to the very edge of the end zone and was standing like a pylon, just like I'm standing right now.
And he didn't seem that interested, but he joined junior choir. So that's when I first met John as a little kid.
And we get out of our car and there's screaming that we can hear from the car all the way into the backyard of this house.
Yeah, I don't remember meeting John as much as hearing John for the first time.
Hey John, listen, I'll never forget the first time I met you. And it wasn't something that I saw, it's really what I heard. Because I heard you far away, and then I saw you.
And Peter's like, it's nothing.
This guy's so loud.
This was basically a pylon right out of bounds. And you know, we'd be playing the game and footballs would be flying next to him and people would be running around him and he didn't move and he didn't bother anybody.
And he's just crazy. I thought he was crazy and loud, but he was really nice. And he talked to me a lot, but he was just so abrasive.
And by the way, when I saw you, it was a pleasant surprise because what I expected was, I thought it was the Tasmanian devil coming my way, but it wasn't, it was you.
I would have to say it most definitely was at a basketball game for Goya.
Probably when St. Nick dominated St. Sophia and Fovos came out to congratulate me.
I just remember him showing up on the basketball court. I don't remember what day or when exactly it was.
I think we were at a Chili's, and I had no idea John was the way he was.
When he came to Texas for Alex's graduation.
We walk through the back door into the backyard, and that group is screaming and fighting at each other over risk.
But one particular time we're playing, and I think it's Perry's team is driving, trying to score a touchdown, and my team's trying to defend them, and as one of the kids runs right towards that one end zone where the kid who wears the banana yellow suit is standing there completely still. And we kind of force that other kid out of bounds and just knocks the kid with the banana yellow suit over.
And we ended up getting into this really big argument, and I was just so offended. And I thought he was obnoxious, and I mean, just the things he was saying to the waiter.
I was working in a market, and his mom and dad came into the market and had him in a stroller, so he was maybe less than 1 year old at the time.
And what did John say to you before the night?
Before we walked in, you said, I'm gonna take this fucker out.
Which meant he was gonna drink me under the table.
And I figured, I don't even move stuff for my family. So this guy is either gonna become a great friend or I'm never gonna talk to him again.
So all of a sudden Perry Skaggs yells, "Hey, get that kid! He stopped us from scoring a touchdown."
John was really polite and nice, respectful, quiet, drank in moderation. He was kind of a pussy.
Turned and looked at Peter, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, don't worry about it. They always fight during board games.
We were probably about 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that range.
Alex's graduation, him in the background yelling and screaming and hollering, and everybody
And all
finally
the
going
Texas
to him.
people going,
Yeah, looking at him going, huh?
Set up a perimeter, block the exits, don't let him escape, put snipers on the roof. You know, we're all going, wow, this is kind of excessive, but we all start chasing this one kid around.
Little did John know, I spent the last 4 years in Mexico drinking nothing but tequila.
He was kind of a letdown for me, for after all I'd heard from George.
The first time I met John was
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. I was dating Adriana.
Him down, we're grabbing him by his arms. We're all happy that, you know, it took 12 of us to catch this one kid.
But I know that there must have been one heck of a conversation between him and Evie before he came, because he was completely different than the John Fovos I know.
We became friends at an Easter picnic just like today in about 1990.
In a bar on Sunset, and I remember I was hanging out with everybody.
And he was talking about how fast he was, and he wanted to race. And we were at the front door, and there was a light pole and a car.
So we bring them down, and I don't even think the parents realized what we were doing. They probably thought we were just still playing a game.
Next thing you knew is they all stood up and started screaming and hollering too, so it was kind of cool.
So we ran to the light pole and around it and back, and because I was bigger than him, I didn't want to knock him into the car, so I kind of slowed down. He got in front of me.
But he wouldn't give up.
It was
He
no
kept
giving
going,
up.
but there was no winning. So it came to the point where he did his role.
Probably 3 or 4 games of bowling in, and it was Johnny's turn, and
He passed out.
On the lane.
Literally.
On the lane.
So we go back to resume our game, and the kid that wore the banana yellow suit goes back to his position there as a pylon standing right there, and Perry and I kind of look at each other, kind of strangely, like, hey, what are you doing? So we kind of motion over to him.
Really meeting him as a teenager was probably 15 years later, when he became friends with my son, and they all hung out together, and he came over to the house and just started hanging out, and it's been history since then.
And then all he did was talk smack about how much faster he was than me.
He was cooking a lamb, I think, in his mother's front yard.
You don't stand on the sideline like that anymore. The way you ran around and was able to get away from us, you're going to get picked on one of these teams. So then I say, hey man, what's your name?
I met him for the first time. I think he was maybe 12 or 13.
And all of a sudden, John got so mad, he took the board game and he flicked it up in the air. Pieces went everywhere. And that was my first introduction to John Fovos.
My first time in California, and he just kept yelling Oklahoma,
Oklahoma!
and making me take tequila shots with him. That's the first time I met John.
And then I heard someone, and it was
Rumbling.
really loud, and I turned my head, and there was John Fovos. That was the first time I met John.
John didn't think I'd be around because I got the duck call around Christmas Eve, and I ended up getting the duck call, busted my chops, and now we're engaged. We're getting married in November.
And it was sometime in the 80s, possibly. Yes, it was, right?
Yes.
And he brought me 4 big, fat, juicy steaks, which made my life infinitely better, and we've been friends ever since.
And the funny thing is, in Greece, in our apartment, when you enter our apartment, the first thing you see is a small black and white picture, which is me, John Fovos, Aris, and JK from that night.
And he was very drunk.
Nothing's changed since then.
And the kid with the banana yellow suit says, my name is John Fovos.
Fovos is sort of like, he seems like he's always been a part of me. So it's kind of hard to say when I first met John Fovos.
And 20 years later, we're great friends.
And then we bought hockey tickets, and the friendship has soared ever since.
The people that are shocked by him and his behavior probably end up loving him the most. Right? That's right. Yeah.
I'm still here, bro.
Yeah. Okay, man. Okay.
Fuck it up! I can't keep a straight face.
Not word. Phrase. If I were gay, I'd be all over you, bro!
I can't say it in front of the kids.
Definitely a cherry picker.
Bald.
Awesome.
Insane.
Booyah!
Booyah! Glamour!
The word that I think of when I think of John Fovos is glamour!
Glamour!
So what's the first word that comes to mind when you think of John?
Funny?
Loud?
Funny.
The first thing I think of is loudmouth.
Boisterous.
Loud. Very loud. Loud!
Loud.
Oh, loud.
Yes, definitely loud.
Loud.
If I were to describe Uncle John in one word, it would be bullhorn.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of your Nuno?
When I think of my Nuno, I think, how can a man who's so small be so loud?
Yeah.
Go. Loud. In a good way, though.
Loud. In a good way. In a papu kind of way.
Yeah. Well, I never met.
Like I think it's funny. And
Most
I think
people should think it's funny.
You think it's funny.
I love it.
Well, we like it. That's all
change a
that
thing.
matters. Fun. Happy.
I would say happy.
Outgoing.
Loyal.
For me, that's going to be loyalty.
Probably survival.
A most lovable, obnoxious son of a bitch.
Remember you'd say, Moody?
He's very generous.
Think about you being generous and kind and loving, but really what I think is that you're like a wiry mongoose.
Speedy. He's very quick.
Incredible.
Successful.
Very hardworking. Family man.
Ultimate family guy. That's more than one word.
Family.
He's brutally honest.
Great guy, great dad. Great fun. Great fun.
Funny.
Funny.
Funny and cool and amazing. He was the best dad ever.
Bananas.
Wild.
Shots.
Shots. Tequila.
Tequila.
Patron.
Patron.
White man.
Fantasy.
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 Fantasy. Fantasy.
Fantasy, for sure. Fantasy football.
You're gonna be somewhere with John, and something's gonna happen, and you think, wow, something's going on here, but you're gonna survive, and you're gonna have a great time.
Yes. Life of the party. Very talkative. Besta matay.
One word to describe John is all heart.
He's larger than life.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely larger than life. Big. You're right. How could a guy that small be that big in life?
Personality, yeah.
Personality in life, yeah, absolutely.
Mariana comes and sweeps him up, puts him in the car, drives him home. We find out later that he passed out in the bushes. trying to get home, so he couldn't even make it from the car inside.
Classic John Fovos story. One of the first times I met him, before this, he was just a kid in a banana-colored suit at church who talked way too much and just never shut up.
There was that time we went to Lake Tahoe for Evie's 21st birthday, and we slept in the top bunk together in the loft, and I had a dream that you were making a move on me, and I socked you.
I want to introduce myself because you might not know this, but I'm not Mr. Safety. I mean, I might be Mr. Safety, but my real name is Adam Horwitz, just so you know.
So I think the first one would be the yellow suit that was more known as the banana suit that his mother used to make him wear to church.
We went out to Rosarito Beach. It was me and Angela and John and Jimmy.
There was this one time where we were at Islands and there was a Toys R Us next to it. And me and Vasily asked Dad if we could go to Toys R Us, and he was like, what do you think I'm gonna say? We said no, and he was like, okay, then no, we're not going to Toys R Us, and you know, we still bring it up sometimes.
From Goya basketball games, me biting my nails and not being able to watch while you end up on the floor.
So one day, a bunch of us were hanging out at my house over on Wilshire there, where I grew up. We decided we were gonna go to the beach.
Wouldn't you know it, they were having a bingo game at the pool.
He always busts our ass because neither one of us chose him to be our debutante escort, and I will not reveal who my escort ended up being. Thank you.
A funny story I have of John and I is when years ago at Fano's house, he and I had a disagreement. He insulted a few friends of mine, and long story short, he and I ended up rolling around in the bushes in Fano's backyard. John, you remember that one, right?
John, there was a time that we met at a go-kart place, and you had practiced and done really wonderful and thought you were the man. And I came out there, and first time I blew you away. Didn't sit very well with you, and I found that actually very funny, personally.
We're walking out of his mother's house. There's a little girl playing out front as we're walking to the car. I think she's on a bike or something, and she asks John, "Where are you guys going?" And John turns and says, "To hell if we don't change our ways."
Every single time a number was called, John would be calling out, "Bingo!"
There was that time we went snowmobiling in Utah and you got lost from the group and the sun was going down.
I just always thought he was just a loudmouth, crazy-ass bastard. And now I love him, so I don't know what to say.
Everybody was like really into this bingo game at the pool, and of course John was just like totally just destroying the whole thing.
And I said, "Oh, why don't we call that Fovos kid? He doesn't live too far from here. He lives a couple miles away."
John is an eternal optimist because he thinks that every time he's been overserved, sunglasses will solve everything.
I think it was John because he lost his wedding, and we were in the wedding party, and we were hungry, and we were trying to get to the reception at church, and we stopped at a Fat Burger on La Cienega with Mariana and the crew.
But the guide went back and eventually found you and all was okay.
I think of John making breakfast at Adriana's before Adriana got married.
At one point he even like went up and claimed that he won when he didn't.
So I got on the phone, I called him, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll be right there."
You beating me up as little kids, just pow pow like that all the time, just beating me up.
White man, let's go, shots! Tony! Tony!
And you kept saying you thought you were gonna have to dig yourself into a hole and drink your own pee.
And you're in line, and you look at this big black Samoan mixed dude, and you're like, "Dude, if I was gay, I'd be all over you."
You're not one of those people that's easy to remember because you're not very loud, you're not very over the top, you're not passionate about much, something you think you need to work on.
Hey buddy, just wanted to let you know that you are the second best fantasy football player I've ever met in my life.
And tequila shots. And scrambled eggs and whatever else was going in there. I think you were part of that.
Oh, absolutely.
It was when we lived in Redondo Beach and we had Harley, our pit bull. He was our love. And Harley loved Fano, loved Fano. But Fano was so afraid of Harley, he didn't want to have anything to do with Harley.
Hopefully this year, you'll have a chance to win your second title in Premier, so I can stop hearing about how great your teams are and how they never perform.
Literally about 15 minutes later, and he lives like exactly 2.5 miles away from here. So knock on the door. Open the door, and it's John Fovos.
The classic John Fovos story was he was 16 years old, and we were at Pete Tragus' 21st birthday, so it was a long time ago.
If you need my help, I might even give you some of my players since it is your 50th birthday.
To going to Vegas with no money, and somehow you got me home after gambling everything. I think Angie and Vicky were witnesses.
Well, he didn't take it so well. He had a gun. Mariana's throwing up in the bushes, and we just tried not to die over our Fat Burger with an egg and cheese. But we made it to that reception. Yes, we did. But boy, do you love to use that line. Not everybody likes being gay like you, doggy.
George came over for dinner with Mariana. And yeah, Harley wasn't too fond of
Harley
John.
did not like John.
And the look on John's face, the fear that he had from that dog, he didn't want any part of that dog.
John cooking all the stuff at Adriana's breakfast, and I was the food chef over there, and I was just as shit-faced as he was. And he was drinking tequila. I was not.
When we were in Vegas for George Tarantos' bachelor party, and we were at Delmonico's restaurant, and we had 3 tables, and the waiter there was a African-American gentleman.
I was like, John, dude, where's your mom and why are you so sweaty? Dude, I ran all the way here. I was like, wait a minute, you ran from your house? Yeah, I hung up the phone, I got my stuff, and I ran all the way here.
The funny thing was Harley wanted to be by Thano, and Thano didn't even like Harley. Thano was afraid of Harley, but John wanted to like Harley so bad, and Harley was freaked out by John, I think, because he was
Probably
so loud.
You to mom. You to mom. That's the first time my family met John Fovos.
My childhood is pretty much a blur. I have very few memories. I remember particularly Johnny Fovos because he had such a strong personality.
But he did a pretty damn good job
Yeah, he
because
did.
everybody got fed and we were all happy about it.
I went to a party with him where he was cornered by a man and woman, fiancés, and it was just to see his face. I don't think anybody could have ever seen a scared John Fovos. I got to see it.
Of course, John, go big or go home Fovos, decided he was going to meet the family, and he got after it. He went big and decided to tell my mom that she was the mom many, 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 many times. And then, of course, he was puking in front of the neighbor's house not too long after that. But it was a perfect tag team because then Evie came in shortly after that, and then it was great from then on.
Then there was this one time that Christine and I went to the Cheesecake Factory in the marina for dinner, and we ran into you and all the guys and Maria and Angela, and afterwards we were hanging out in the parking lot.
I want to say one thing that I love about our connection is that we're basically eye to eye, and that is a really important thing for somebody like me. I'm just kidding.
A networking body. And I thought the guy was a crazy nutball, and now I love the guy. What can I say? That's it.
Fovos would call him Keyshawn after Keyshawn Johnson, the football player.
To marrying the best wife ever. Love you, Mariana.
And John Fovos came to me out of the blue and just started telling me he could take me one-on-one with no problem.
Honestly, I can't believe you're not in jail, dude.
The fact that he's not in jail, has never been in jail, is remarkable. I'm proud of him. He was a great kid. He was fun, and he was totally out of control.
Then I would say maybe when we were in Greece in 2000, we were walking behind what we thought were 2 women on Mykonos, and unbeknownst to us, they were cross-dressers.
He ran all the way so he could come and hang out and go to the beach with us. And that was really the first time that John Fovos hung out with a bunch of us guys, and where you really got to know him. And he's that kind of guy.
Now, probably if anybody else called him that, we'd probably
You would have been offended.
Yeah, we probably would have had a small little riot or something, or outside people with it. But we had one of the most memorable evenings ever. To this day, and we always talk about it. It was just one great event after another.
You kept telling me that we should go out, and I didn't believe you. I never believed you. But you just kept saying we should go out, and you made me this flower.
One of my funniest stories with Dad is when I was at a competition and I did really good, and he just started screaming, 20!
And I still have it.
Went to Mexico with the boys. We had a few tequilas, 18-year-old drinking age. And on the way back, we all decided to buy ponchos. Fovos thought it would be cool to also get a sombrero. So we're crossing over into California from Mexico, wearing our ponchos. He's wearing his poncho and sombrero.
John managed to say one of the sweetest things we have ever heard, which happened the summer of 2013, just a little bit before Fallon would come to us.
When I was decorating his house, that's when I had to hang out with him the most. And he was moving into the house next to his mom's, the adjoining house.
And so we went down to the basketball court at Hickory School. The next morning he woke me up after we were up very late the night before and demanded his dream come true.
I remember Mariana and the kids can't remember whose graduation it was, but we had water in the driveway and the kids were splashing around, and Mariana and John were standing around and looking at these kids just having such a wonderful time.
And he sees a ceramic cross with Jesus hanging on it. That's this big. He buys it, and I'll never forget that image of John with his sombrero, poncho, and the cross on his shoulder. And when we asked, "What are you going to do with it?" They said, "I'm going to give it to my mom." And he was so proud. I don't know if it was the tequila talking or that's just maybe who he is.
What I remember is going to Lake Tahoe and going to the casinos, and we said, because I think there was like 20 of us, and we said, you know, if we get lost or we can't find each other or whatever, we go to the front desk and the simfima, how do you say simfima in English? I don't know, what does that mean? Simfima is the sign.
There's also times where we're at gymnastics competitions and I'll finish a routine on one of my events and you'll scream like 12 or 20 and it always makes me laugh.
Yeah, that's one thing that he can do. He can joke with people and you think that they're going to be offended, but they never are because he knows how to talk to people.
Unfortunately, that birthday wish did not come true, even though it wasn't his birthday.
He'll run full speed if he needs to get something done or if he's going to do something for you.
The simfima was you have to say Harry Arhidia. And they have to say it on the loudspeaker so that everybody can go to the front office or the front desk so we can all meet up and we can all head out.
I remember he gave me $5,000 cash, a big wad, and said, go shopping and just have it ready for me.
Hollywood, bro. This is your town. We're just visiting.
Maybe you guys should have a rematch on the basketball court.
I don't get on the basketball court anymore. Maybe Fovos, Fovos still does, but I don't.
One by one, we started going up there saying Harry Arhidia. What was the other one? Can you page Harry Arhidia?
So for my wife's birthday a couple of years ago, I was taking a group of people out to dinner at the Palm Restaurant in Beverly Hills. And when we get there, John comes up to me and he says, "Don't worry, I'm not going to take it to you tonight."
And I think, John, you've got a beautiful family, but I don't think you had anything to do with it. I think it was all on the other side.
So funny, at that moment, two things happened. Number one, that kid that wore the banana yellow suit was never on the sideline again.
Then he convinces half the table to order surf and turf. Thanks a lot, John.
That was Poe's idea, of course.
I was going through some old pictures and I found a picture of John, and I think it's very telling of his future. There's the drink and the smile, always there.
Everyone in the South Bay, all the guys in the South Bay from St. Catherine call all the guys in the Valley and LA those guys.
I remember everything came to the house and his mom wanted to see what we bought because she wanted to know everything. And I remember John slamming the door on her to get back in her house. And that was just so shocking to me, but that's what I remember.
Watch this video too, huh?
But that's what happened.
Always part of the group, included in everything we did, and obviously one of my best friends to this day.
Do you realize you say that?
I don't realize that.
Those guys. We're going out with those guys. Who's those guys? Fovos, Silas, Mitsidis, those guys. And Chris always referred to those guys as those guys.
And the second thing that we learned is the kid that wore the banana yellow suit became just a kid.
How do you get two different families to pick you? That must be pretty amazing.
What I like about John is that any party I'm at, any gathering, as soon as he walks in the room, I get in a better mood. John Fovos, in my mind, is the LeBron James of partying. He makes all his fellow partiers better.
And then one time we were out somewhere and Pete Tregas says to Chris, "Hey, have you seen those guys?" I'm like, "Those guys again? Who's those guys?"
He didn't want her in his space. That was his new space. But he did slam the door on her, and that was when he was living with Phil.
I have endless funny stories. Unfortunately, the only ones I could think of, I really cannot tell on tape. And that should tell you a lot.
Beyond that, every time with John is a good time, and there's always something funny happening because of his brutal honesty.
I feel like every time I see John, I laugh and have a good time.
We keep a secret, my honey. We have a secret.
It's actually the name we still call him to this day. 42, 45 years later. If you ask Perry Skaggs, you ask Philip Skaggs, you ask George Torontos, Jim Majelis, myself, any of us, who the kid is, there's no question, everybody knows who that kid is. And the kid is John Fovos.
The first thing I think of is he just takes over the space, commando style.
Lots of memories.
Yeah, lots of fun.
And in an instant, everything I was worrying about vanished in those sweet, sweet words. And that's my John Fovos story.
How come we don't play dominoes anymore?
Give me a ping, Vasily. One ping only, please.
What do you do, shower once a week?
Is that an invitation?
Stop, man. Why do you always come and kill the vibe with those things? Sharing the same heart. That's like some Britney Spears shit.
I could use a good ass kick, and I'll be very honest with you.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
Okay. Kiss me, man. What? Kiss me. When I'm being fucked, I like to get kissed.
George Costanza!
Hey, it was me who sent you to hell.
I was like, Amelia!
I'm gonna rent out an entire theater for them. They're gonna invite all their friends, all their family, popcorn on me, soda on me, weed on me.
Well, Columbus wasn't looking for America, my man, but that seems to work out for everybody, didn't it?
All I have in this world is my balls and my word.
Show me the money.
No! I feel the need for speed.
PD is going down, partner. We gonna be
You can't handle the truth.
Well, you really went bald there, didn't you? You used to really have a thick, full head of hair.
Well, that's not what a friend of mine told me. Maybe you know him. His name is Abraham.
There are several, but I was watching Seinfeld the other day, and he's George Costanza.
Let's go with Al Pacino. He's kind of cool like that.
Okay, so John reminds me of Al Pacino in The Godfather, but only, of course, the Greek version.
Kevin Hart, because he's funny and small at the same time.
That's a good one, actually.
Oh, actually, Kevin Hart, because he's small.
Kevin Hart is the black version of John Fovos.
He's got a big personality to make up for his short stature.
Yes, he is.
John Stamos. Just kidding.
John, I can't help it, but whenever I see Kobe Bryant, I think of you.
I have met Gerard Butler before. Don't want to pump you up too much, but you look a little bit like him, although he's fat and you're not.
I would have to say Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny or Goodfellas.
I want to say Joe Pesci.
Actually, that's probably who I would say also.
I would say Joe Pesci.
Gobi! No, not for me.
Elton John.
Wait, John, your handsome, devilish smile and everything about you kind of reminds me, I don't know why, actually, of Bruce Willis.
The celebrity that John reminds me of most? Jeff Van Gundy, basketball announcer.
Danny DeVito is what came to mind.
In 40-Year-Old Virgin, the black guy. I don't know his name, I don't know his character's name, but every time I watch 40-Year-Old Virgin and that guy starts popping off, I say, that's John Fovos.
John Garfield.
Rod Williams from Get Out.
You remind me of Kobe Bryant. Some love you, some hate you, but you're always good at what you do.
He's street smart like John, had figured out that that white chick was bad news, and he told him, get away from that white chick and all those crazy white people.
Or Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito is also funny and short.
Dad reminds me of a smiley emoji.
Me.
You're not a celebrity.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Sorry, we can only think of people who aren't tall that are funny.
Yeah, just
But we'll focus on the funny.
Μεγάλε, you remind me Thanasi Vego. Google it.
I'd also sprinkle in a little bit of Jason Statham. He's bald like John and kind of a badass.
Bart Simpson.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he's short, he's loud, he's quirky, he's whatever. He doesn't
Bart!
follow rules. And then at some point he's really sensitive and he's ready to go back to his mom, Mariana.
Oh wait, what's the movie where it's Show Me the Money? He's Cuba Gooding Jr.
Dwayne Johnson. I'll name the hip.
Uncle John reminds me of a compact version of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Well, we once saw this real estate show, and he reminds me of the guy that was on that real estate show you watched.
Yeah. He was in $1 Million Listing, I think.
I think John is his own celebrity.
You could be anybody, bro.
Before we got together, you'd always say to me, we'd make a great couple. And I'd be like, no, we wouldn't. And you'd say, we'd make a great couple. And I always just blew you off. But obviously you were right.
I love you very, very much, and every day I'm in awe of you and super proud of you and honored to be your sister and love you so much.
Happy birthday, Nino. I love you so much. I hope this birthday is the best one ever.
John, don't get too drunk tonight, or today, or this week, or this year, whenever you're celebrating.
Stop drinking tequila shots.
No, keep on drinking tequila shots. That would be no John.
Yeah, that would be no John.
How do you talk about someone who's one of your best friends that you've known almost your whole life and has, again, been there through thick and thin?
To my favorite son-in-law, wishing you a happy 50th birthday.
Always have a smile, a warm heart. You always kind of make me laugh. I'm richer to have you as my friend. All the best on your 50th.
Hey Dad, love you. You're the best father in the world. You make me feel great, and love when you take me soccer practice, do all these things with me.
Bless people with a lot of funny stories and good laughs. You're always the life of the party with an uncensored mouth.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Hey! Happy birthday, John! 50! Woohoo!
Happy birthday, John. Happy birthday, Fovos.
And I hope you can let it loose, live it up, and do what you want on your kind of day. Your loving mother-in-law.
I know our dad is very proud, looking above from heaven at the man that you've become, and what an amazing father you are.
John, white man! Happy birthday. I'm looking forward to shots of tequila. Be there.
So anyway, happy birthday to one of those guys. Happy birthday, Uncle John.
Grania Pala, half a century.
Half a century. Wow.
Wow.
That's a big one.
Just know that I love you very, very much, and I wish you nothing but health and happiness, and may you see your children's children.
Happy birthday.
Happy 50th, Dad.
Happy birthday.
To you.
Happy birthday.
To you.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Dad.
Hey, Johnny. Just want to wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John. Happy birthday, Nino John.
Happy 50th, Nino John. Thanks for always making me laugh. We love you.
We love you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John. Happy 50th, and many, many more.
Happy birthday, we love you.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday,
From
John.
all of us and Django.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Just that we wish you the best, John. Happy 50th.
And too many more celebrations.
Yeah, and let's get together more often. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. Polychronos.
Happy birthday, Yanni. Happy 50th, you son of a bitch.
We love you, John Fovos.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John. Hope it's a great one. Enjoy your shots and tequila.
Happy birthday,
buddy.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John.
50.
Happy birthday, John.
Hey John, just wanted to wish you a happy 50th birthday.
To my son John, who reached 50 years, I'm proud of you. You have a wonderful family.
Happy birthday, Dad.
We're very lucky to have you around for this many years. Hopefully, we'll be making another video again 50 years from now.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, Fear. Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Yasu Yanni. Happy birthday. Many more to come. Healthy, happy birthdays for you.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, Megale.
Danubius. Happy 50th.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Yanaki.
Happy birthday to you.
Hi, John. Just want to say happy birthday. I hope you have a great 50th, and I hope that this year is the best year yet.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Many more.
Happy birthday, dear John.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John.
We love you.
Love you, man.
Happy birthday, Yanimu. 50, baby.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, dear John.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Wait a minute. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday to John.
John, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday to you, John.
Happy birthday, John. I've known you a long time, at least 40 years. Another 40 will be good.
Happy birthday, John. Hope you have a great 50th. It's 50th, right?
Have a nice day, and I love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Happy birthday, Yanni. Happy birthday, dear Ninoyani. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, John.
John, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, John. I'm not Greek, but you're still a Malacca. I love you.
Well, I'm looking forward to many great years with you.
Happy birthday, John Fovos.
Happy birthday, John. Happy 50th. Say happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy 50th, John.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, Fovos.
John, happy birthday again. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, and we love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fov. Happy birthday to you.
Booyah!
We love you. Booyah. Love you, Dad.
Happy 50th birthday, John.
Listen, brother, I love you, man. Happy 50th birthday. You are truly one of the best of the best. You, your family, you and your wife have done it right. You're raising these amazing kids, and you deserve the best that life has to offer. And I hope to know you for another 50 years. Enjoy this day, brother.
Happy 50th birthday, my friend. Congratulations. You've accomplished a lot in your life. You're a successful businessman, but more importantly, you're a very successful and loving father. And I'm proud of you. Happy 50th, my friend.
So we'll always remember that night. We hope we have many more nights like that.
Not like that, though.
No, not quite like that. Maybe not quite.
Yeah,
like
and let's try to walk into the house tonight.
that. Well, have a great night tonight. Happy birthday.
Happy
we
birthday.
love you lots.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
I just want to say happy 50th birthday from the Xilas family, all of our love, and God bless you and your family as well.
Happy birthday, John.
I'm having a crisis in the souvlaki booth, so I have to go pretty soon, but I'm in charge. I'm the vice president.
So John, here's to you. Have a great 50th. Thank you for being in my life. I appreciate you being in my life, and my life is better because you're in it. Happy birthday.
Mariana,
I, John, take you, Mariana,
to be my lawful wedded wife.
to be my lawful wedded wife.
Okay.
Okay. My hair is terrible.
Should I only do one hand?
Okay. Do you want me to? Did
Sure.
you turn it on?
No, I didn't.
It is
oh, yeah, it's on.
Next question.
Are we doing it? Are we rolling? Is it on? Okay.
Hard to believe. Loosen up?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me when.
Buster stole the show.
Do you have something other than happy birthday to say to him?
Don't videotape that.
I was gonna dress up for you, Phoebe.
If you were a brother, I'd be all over you, dude.
Famous phrases, take 2.
Okay. All right.
You have
I wasn't
to keep
expecting
that.
that.
You have to keep that. That's good. You have to keep that.
I wasn't expecting that. Was fun.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, John.
Do it. Only más pero tocándome. Cállate.
Stupid jolas.
I think he went to get the car.
Can I keep going? Okay.
Do you feel like you're in like glamour shots in Napoleon Dynamite?
Legend. Okay, it was
Real
funny
life.
story, first memory,
A personal message.
personal
if you want to wish him
message.
something. If you want to say something to him.
Did you guys just say happy birthday?
Yeah.
We did that already, right?
Yeah.
We say happy birthday?
Yes.
Now, right now? Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Fovos!
Off the video.
You gotta redo that.
Happy
Say happy birthday, John.
birthday,
Say happy birthday.
Say happy birthday.
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you. You guys can sing any slower.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to